My dear fellow listeners and viewers, today I would like to take this opportunity to talk about failure in the context of it not being final. There is no question that when we fail, on something, whatever that may be, it is very disappointing. We feel that emptiness inside, especially when there are other people who have expectation from us, high expectation. We feel so disappointed. We feel as if we have disappoint not only ourselves but the people that are around us. But there's one thing we must realize is that failure is just a normal common thing, and in some cases, in many cases actually, it probably can give us an opportunity to grow or do things better, for next time, or actually understand ourselves a little bit more. Think about it. If everything goes perfectly in our life, let's say, we've never had challenges. I've never met anybody, by the way, who never faced any sort of challenge. So this is just normal. Can you imagine you're living a life where you've never had any kinds of challenge in life? Everything is going nice and smooth, and then all of a sudden you've kind of stuck on something there. You're not able to move forward. How difficult it is for you to kind of carry on. So failure along the way really strengthen you as an individual. The only thing is that you have to look at it as an individual piece. So, for example, I have my own strengths and weaknesses, right? So I cannot look at somebody else and try to compare, my goals with somebody else, right? That's where we can probably, set up ourselves for failure, knowingly setting up ourselves for failure. And that's the kind of piece I worried about when people are setting up themselves for failure, meaning that you do not want to compare yourself with anybody else. Everyone has their own, sort of resources and support and all of that. You have to know what you want, as I talked about before. You have to look at your own self. And when you make a mistake, you do not want to blame somebody else, by the way. It is not uncommon for us to do that because we not all of us know how to deal with it. And so when we fail at something, we put a stop to it. We, in some cases, we are saying that, this is not for us. We're not gonna do it again. Life is not fair. These are the kind of things we see and hear and feel all the time. It is a human thing. And if you never felt that way and disappointed and a little bit of an angerness within you, whether or not if you're showing it or not, you're not a human being, because it is very common, very natural for people to feel disappointed when they fail, when things doesn't go their way. But believe what I'm saying to you, when you fail, you really want to step back, because sometimes in life we have to take a few steps backward before we kind of move forward again. Very normal, very common. We cannot continuously go forward. Sometimes we have to take two steps backward, then we make another three or four steps forward in order for us to get to our destination. So those are things you really have to reflect on when something doesn't go well or doesn't go right for you, or in some cases, let's use the term, failure for the sake of this video here. So let's say you fail at something, you want to kind of take some time and kind of reflect and see, why is it that you fail in the first place? What is it that went wrong? What is it can you do better for next time? These are things that most of you who are watching and listening right now, you are aware of all of these things. And it's so very common, very natural. If you don't fail in life, actually, you are not giving yourself enough time and opportunity to grow. You must fail. And if you haven't failed enough in life, you haven't maximized your potential. I can tell you that for sure. Very natural, very common. And these are kinds of conversation we must continuously have. For some reason, people think that failure is a bad thing. I mean, keep in mind though, if you're failing at the same thing over and over, keep in mind it's a sign that you may have to take a different approach. That's another thing to keep in mind, because you cannot do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. So those are all things you have to kind of be mindful of. So my message here today is that failure is not final, right? So think about that. Failure is not final. So if you fail at something, don't think that that's the end of it. It's probably an opportunity for you to go back at it harder, with more energy, more resources, more passion, and all of that. And this could be anything. It could be you going for your driver's license for the first time. If you fail, I've seen many people, by the way, who have, who cried and upset and so on because they have failed their driver's license the first time. Very normal, very common. You're being tested for a very short period of time. People get nervous, all of that. So don't let all of those things get to you, and then you learn and you start to develop a different kind of behavior as you become more mature and understanding, and as we educate ourselves. Keep in mind, a video like this, not too many people will watch it, not too many people will understand it. Only 3% of the people who are watching the video, by the way, will kind of make use of it. Study shows that. But at the same time, we must continue to have these kinds of conversation, because these are not sexy video. These are not, there's a reason, by the way, why there are only a handful of people who are millionaires and always succeed and always, one step ahead of everybody else, because they're doing all the right things. They're accepting failure and all of that. So I hope you get the message. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Narine Dat Sookram. Wishing you a great today and even better tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.